What's up and welcome Olympus Mons, the Above Limits podcast. This video is called The Weapons of War Argument. Okay, so recently Justin Trudeau outlawed 1,500 assault style weapons because of a mass shooting that I guess because the excuse is because of the coronavirus. None of us really heard much about it. I think a couple days had passed and I heard little tidbits of Nova Scotia mass shooter. I'm like, it didn't resonate with me. So, but apparently there was a mass shooter. I don't know much about it because there was no news about it. You know, out of all the mass shootings we've had, this was one of them that just kind of snuck in and nobody heard about it, which is weird, telling, and typical because the next move from Justin Trudeau, which I know a couple of Canadians, and they're not very proud of having Justin Trudeau as their president or their prime minister, whatever he is. But you know, it's very typical because of the stances that Justin Trudeau puts. I mean, he's what we would have if progressive, SJW style politicians were in the highest branches of government in the United States. That the outcome would be the different policies that Justin Trudeau is putting forward. So you always have to watch out for when there's these buzzwords. Like, let's say when Trump did the stimulus package, you had Joe Scarborough on MSNBC. Literally within 4 minutes of me watching, he said the word slush fund maybe 50 times. And if you don't know, that's a method of hypnotization, is by repeating things. In the Brave New World, it's called, what was it called? Pavlov method. Is just like where you just repeat something over and over again and it gets ingrained in your head. But on Pavlov, it was like thousands of times it was repeated why somebody slept and why baby slept or kids slept, so they could it'd be ingrained in their mind that what their role was. But it really only takes about 7 times for you to hear something or to learn something for it to be ingrained into your psyche. So when my point is that the mainstream media, let's say just MSNBC, even Fox News, don't get me wrong, I always get accused of being a Fox News watcher, which I'm not. I get my news from just watching clips, watching, the things that happen in front of me. But the people that watch MSNBC or CNN, they always have it on. They're always listening to it. I used to be one of those people where I'd watch the news all day thinking that something breaking was going to happen, and we'd basically have the key to the all of our questions answered by watching the news. And I snapped out of it probably about 10 years ago. But those networks are for people that are basically they take in that information that's given to them and then they repeat it as if they came up with that information on their own. So that basically means that it's the NPC logic. That's where that comes from. It's like you think you're thinking for yourself, but you're not. You're being fed, literally being hypnotized because you're in fear, watching the news all the time, thinking that that makes you educated, that makes you informed on the processes and the roles of government. But when you hear, going back, the word slush fund, that was a word that was repeated about 40 times, but that was one thing that Justin Trudeau said in his speech on why he banned the assault rifles, was because they were weapons of war. So that's the buzzword. That's the word to get to all these people that are living in fear of COVID-19 and want the government shut down and the everything shut down until we have a vaccine, which could be a year. And now some people are saying the amount of time of like 4 years. You know what I mean? So we're gonna not all work for 4 years and everything's gonna be free for 4 years. I mean, it's very highly unlikely. So when I can guess that you'll hear the word more often, weapons of war. Now I'm going to show you a clip here. This is CNN. This is Tom Ridge, George Bush's Homeland Security guy, the first guy that was the Homeland Security chief or whatever, and he uses this word on CNN. And here's the thing about this guy. Recently Trump and George Bush are going back and forth about how, basically we got to be, it was just like George Bush trying to take some the spotlight or whatever, and be like, oh, I was a great president, and now everybody on the news is like George Bush, with these profound thoughts, and we should be listening, and Trump should be taking note. Come on, man. George Bush is a war criminal. George Bush lied about, he sat up there on the State of the Union saying that Colin Powell was going to give definitive evidence that Saddam Hussein was building weapons of mass destruction. And it was a total fucking lie. So now because it's Trump, why are we pretending that George Bush isn't that? Because it's not Trump. Because we got to make Trump look bad. So this is just another lackey that can kind of, well, he was George Bush's, so that means he was a Republican, and even Republicans don't agree with Trump, and that these people, he basically calls these people cowards, and that they're using weapons of war, to go and intimidate people on their state capitals. Let's watch the video.
And the fact that they would use this opportunity to kind of flex whatever muscles they think is important. They're not heroes, they're not courageous, and frankly, you walk around with weapons of war at your side. I find it unconscionable, vile, and frankly, it's not American. We're in this together. Same team, same.
No, sir. It is American. It is very much American, because that's what and I hate to use an NPC argument, but that is the reason for the Second Amendment, is to put your government on notice. They are on notice by a majority group. Because literally in this country, on every single subject, there's either people that are, let's give for an example, that Russian collusion. There's a group of people that can give you every single reason why Trump did not collude with Russia, and then there's the other side that can give you every single reason why Trump did collude with Russia. And okay, there's another side where we should be locked in our house, and we should shut down, and we shouldn't have no businesses, and everybody should be inside and social distance and wear a mask and only go to the grocery store. That's all you can go to. And then there's the other side that says, which is the obvious truth, that the economy is something to think about. Famine, true famine, bread lines, food banks empty because there's so many people without food. People without money who will eventually become desperate and do desperate things. What are those desperate things? Well, they would violently attack somebody because they have to, because it's just human nature. Women will have to prostitute themselves because they love their kids. These are things that could happen. But going back to weapons of war, These people are cowards, he says, and they're despicable because they marched on their capitals. I mean, that's what Americans do. In other countries, they just full blown riot. You know, if you go to Europe and Europeans are upset about something, they're riot. They're burning down the street. They're fighting with the cops. You know, and you're talking about a major issue of taking guns away, and that's the next step in all of this. It will be on America's doorstep. And if we had Hillary Clinton, or we had Joe Biden, or, you know, somebody even more insane than those people, which those people are pretty insane, we would have this sneak deal, just like Justin Trudeau did. I guess Parliament or whatever, it's like their Senate and Congress is like they're not working right now, so he just executive order bans 1,500 assault weapons. You know, which is a major thing. You can't defend against tyranny. And it's 4:30 a.m. Central Time, May 5th, 2020. My prediction is that they're setting up Canada to be the first country, the first, civilized country, I guess, that will force every single citizen to get the vaccine. You will have to get the vaccine under penalty of, imprisonment, fines, and, because this is what everything leads to. Everything that Justin Trudeau is doing and progressives want to do will ultimately lead to a Chinese-style police state, surveillance state in countries that have never ever seen that before, and people will gladly accept it. Well, half of the people will gladly accept it because that's what they want to be safe, and that's what's going to bring them safety. And they'll when a politician says, "We want you to snitch on people. We want you to you got to social distance. You got to be reminded to social distance. Don't shake nobody's hand. Don't hug nobody." All for the sake of your safety. You lose all your freedom, and this is a reality. And if people that don't think this is what's happening, I mean, it is. The Second Amendment is could be in danger of being lost and gladly turned over, because half of and everybody believes in democracy, that majority rule, that, well, we got to have this. Half of the people think we got to have this. This is Olympus Mons, the Above Limits podcast. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel and continue to watch my other videos and future videos. You can add me on Discord, Olympus Mons, the hashtag 2704. What else? That's about it.